Good morning. Thank you for viewing. We're a minute late. We had a little technical difficulties because my director of marketing didn't come to Tampa with me. Oh, I didn't invite her. I should have. Sorry, Rebecca.
We wish you were here.
So, Kendall Bonner, I really appreciate you meeting with us, and you know, soon to be best-selling author, and broker owner of Remax Capital Realty. And you know, I gotta say, you know, from afar, and you know, we've met with each other on R4, you know, many times and such. Yeah. And I just think you're a very special person, and I certainly appreciate you coming on. So, Breakfast with the Broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. and we are on the road again in beautiful Lutz, which is a Tampa area. And a very successful brokerage, Kendall. So we appreciate it. And she gave us a tour, and it's amazing. And Rebecca, I got some couple ideas that the bros told us to bring back to potentially even Color War. We'll see.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. Well, you know what? We'll talk about your book first because I think it's amazing. You know, a lot of times we've been doing this since I guess a little over a year now, and every time I have a guest in front of me and I ask them, you know, what does it take to make a successful agent? Right. And well, you wrote a book about that.
Well,
sort of.
Yeah, sort of. You're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you. First, let me say thank you to you guys and to you, David. I'm so honored. I feel so privileged to be here today. This is with you on your Facebook Live. This is amazing. This is really awesome. So, but yeah, as far as the book goes, this is So You Think You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent by myself, Teresa Rogers, and Ann Carlson, two agents in my office. And last year, Teresa came to me and said, I want to write a book. And Kendall, I think, you know, it would be great to add you in on here, and Ann, and she had her rationale for why to include us. And I immediately was like, yes, this is like a lifelong dream to be an author. So it's like a bucket list item, right? And so yes, exactly. And so we sat down and she started writing. She wanted to tell a story. She wanted to explain to clients, customers, people deciding to get in the business, as well as like share the story of existing agents of what it's really like to be a real estate professional. Most people think it's easy, that you can do it part-time, or that it's, you know, I love, Lee Brown said in her book, the hours are so flexible, you get to work all of them. You know, like, I thought that was an amazing quote. Shout out to Lee Brown, you're amazing.
Absolutely lovely.
And so it was just one of those things that I wanted to be able to, from the broker's perspective, share what it's like, because a lot of people also think it's easy to become a broker, like
Sure.
what we do, and you and I both know this is so hard.
Yeah, if anyone wants to be the broker of Remax Services, perfect. I'm out.
Please don't do that. We're not gonna let him do that. No way. But you know, it's a tough gig. You know, whether to be an agent or a broker and an owner. And so we wanted to share that story. We wanted to talk about what it takes to be successful, at least superficially for this point, because I think for some people they really just need to understand that it's not what they think it is. And so the goal was to kind of debunk some myths about real estate and what it means to be a real estate agent, and also to kind of share, like, at a base level, you need to do certain things.
You mean it's not like $1 Million Listing? Because I watched that show, and I think that's absolutely what we do every day, isn't it?
Oh my God, no.
Or what was the other one? There was another one that was called like Stealing. What was it? Not Stealing.
I don't know.
There was another one that was just really bad. It was kind of like a spin-off of. It was maybe the reality TV show / you know, I don't know, Big Brother / whatever, you know.
Oh, I know.
But
all those shows, I can't watch them.
No.
It's too frustrating.
Yeah. So, you know, when we go into real estate, and you meet with real estate agents all the time, and you know, there are some that are win-win for your office, and there's some that are not. And obviously, it's important to be within your culture, your core beliefs, and all of that. But you know, when a new agent comes,
yes.
You know, brand new agent, is there something that you look for in a new agent? Do you take on any new agents? And if you do take on new agents, is it a different transition than maybe what an experienced agent would be?
Absolutely. So yes, we do hire, we call them new licensees for our purposes of our office. And you're absolutely right. I do look for certain things because talking to and interviewing and having a conversation with a brand new licensee versus an experienced agent are like two totally separate conversations, right? And I find that a lot of new licensees, they just don't know what they don't know. But what I'm specifically looking for is I do a couple of tests in the beginning on purpose, and one of them is grit. I'm looking to see, do they have grit? That was a book I read a couple of years ago by Angela Duckworth, and that book was a game changer for me. Just reading it and understanding that there's a test for grit. In fact, she opens up the book with a story about West Point. How there's like over 1,200 applicants every year that go through so much rigorous, testing, training, all of that stuff just to get invited to apply. And then after there's like 300 that get accepted, and then of that 300, just a percentage of that actually graduate. And she said, it's not that the 1,200 aren't talented or that the ones that finish are the most talented, but really the ones that finish are the ones with the most grit. And I feel like in real estate, you need grit.
All right, I like that.
We go through so many agents go through hills and valleys of their business, and it's a hustle, right? Our business is a hustle, it's a grind, and it's daily.
Improve your hustle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Improve your hustle all the time. Improve your hustle. But yes, so it's all those things, and if you don't have grit, I find that the people that don't have grit typically don't make it, right. Which is why the percentages of how many licensees we have, I don't know if you guys know this, but NAR right now, National Association of Realtors, has more members, a part of NAR, than any other time in our history. We have the most real estate licensees in our country ever. And yet, we're in this interesting market, and it's very difficult to be successful. And in addition to that, a huge percentage of brand new licensees and or licensees period don't make it. They never sell a house, or they sell less than 4 houses, which to me is the equivalent of failure, right? That's, no one wants to get his business and sell 4 houses. I mean,
no,
you know what I mean? Unless maybe they're multi-million-dollar houses, that might be different. But
it's a very difficult time, and where everyone's trying to stand out and whatnot. I think I saw the number was over 187,000 realtors in the state of Florida, and that's just realtors. That's just members of the board.
Right.
You can't imagine. There's about another probably 30 or 40,000 that are not members of the board. Right. It might be a commercial agent or business broker or what have you, or just don't want to pay the $700-800 whatever it is a year to be part of it.
It's an expensive business to invest in,
yes.
Right? I mean, that's what people also don't understand. Well, it's expensive to invest in and to get into.
And it looks really glamorous because. Listen, you sell a $500,000 house and they give you $15,000, and you just take home all $15,000, which is great, and you didn't spend any money or any gas or any marketing expenses for your listing or anything like that, and it's great. You just unfortunately,
none of that is
unfortunately you have to split with the broker.
Yeah.
You got the advertising cost, the marketing cost, the cost to transact. All these different things. Yeah. And people look at it, and plus your taxes, you got to pay the government. Yes. So you have all of this, and I think people don't necessarily realize. I appreciate
absolutely.
it. So, the 2 things. One is you do a great from Jeff Littman, who I think you were at his office, did a business planning event.
We're coming up.
I heard great things about it. How did you come up with the business planning, seminar? What pieces did you pull in? And do you think it's important for a real estate agent to have a business plan?
I believe that it is absolutely 100% fundamentally required to have what I call a GPS right? So we all use GPSs to, like you used the GPS to get here this morning, right? Because you didn't know where you were going, right? And you're trying to get from point A to point B. And the fastest way is with what we would use as a GPS in our vehicle, right? And what is our GPS? It is literally a map, right? And it's step-by-step directions. So the GPS for the business summit that I do lays out the goal, the plan, and the standards. That's your GPS. And I think that you need not only just a business plan, right? Because a lot of people talk about business plans, and it's like this one-page little mathematic worksheet. I believe a GPS is so much more than that, and it is. It really details out, because I use momentum. I'm a momentum office, so we talk about your life aspiration. We talk about your economic model or financial model, your organizational model, your operational model, your career development model, right? Like, the goal of training is not to just go to every training that ever exists, right? It's the training and the education that actually is needed and necessary to improve your business. And every training you go to needs to have and identify a skill, a system, or strategy, right? So it's all of that stuff, and it's like this fully detailed out breakdown of even just mindset, including like, what are your limited beliefs? Like, I sit there and we talk about what are your limited beliefs, and then we try to fix those if they're bad, you know what I mean, and give you some unlimited beliefs. So it's a good. I'm proud of the workshop. I love it. I enjoy teaching it. It's exhausting for me and the agents, but every time I've done it, the agents come out of it and are like, wow, and they feel empowered and/or inspired, and that's what I'm all about.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And thanks for giving back to the community, and that's what it's all about. We talk about realtors connecting communities.
Yes.
We talk about, what we don't talk about as much is brokers connecting realtors. And I think that it doesn't matter what brokerage you work for, whether you work at KW or Century 21 or Coldwell Banker or Sotheby's or Remax. Any of these brokerages, we all collaborate, and we all are together. And I'll tell you what. There's never been a better time to be a realtor than now, because I believe that most people want to see you successful, and maybe that's positivity or but I just think maybe too optimistic, but I just think that agents today are a lot less cutthroat and more collaborative. And the original reason why we did this was to really perpetuate professionalism within the industry and continue the collaboration that we have with all our officers, all our agents. I mean, I love all agents from all brokerages, and I try and help any way I can. So and obviously you do the same. So it's great. So we're gonna transition now into your favorite topic. Video.
Yes.
So how has video helped your brokerage and helped your business?
So that's a great question. Video has done a lot for me in terms of even just internally, right? Because I think in its own way, it's built my confidence, my self-confidence. It's built up my need, or it's fed my need to share and to teach and inspire, and it allows me a medium to do that in a quick, easy way. But it also has allowed people to get to know me that otherwise would not have, right? And it's expanded the reach, and it's allowed me to help not just the agents in my office, but agents outside my office also. And that, it's like you said, that whole collaboration, that mastermind mindset, that sharing of knowledge and information is absolutely so key.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely paramount, because when you're looking at video, and I remember going to Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne's a video thing at R4, and I was blown away, and I was doing some video at the time, and I was just blown away by them, and I remember something that I think it was Jesse that said, he's like, listen, eventually they're going to see you.
Right.
So why not, if they're repulsed by you in your face when you walk through the door, you might as well get it over with. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's like I look the same Well, okay, the hair, those of you that know me, the hair might change, but, the rest of it, is still the same all the time, right? So,
and listen, there's not a person in this world that loves the way they speak or the way they look.
You're absolutely right.
Like, so you look at it and you go, God, I sound like an idiot, or I sound like, like, why does my voice fluctuate that way? Or,
right?
It's like, whatever. Like,
yes.
This is me, take it or leave it.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the whole point, though, too, is they really get to know a little bit about your personality, which I think is what humanizes us and what allows us to make connections and build relationship. It's what allows people to live, miles and miles and miles away from me, but to feel like they know me and feel comfortable calling me for advice or wisdom or just communication, collaboration, like you said earlier. And we've never actually met until we go to R4 and stuff like that, and then it's awesome.
And and I think what video has done for the business is amazing, because if you think about it, if you're doing video effectively and efficiently, you're basically taking the people that you want to be really want to work with, that are going to be attracted to your personality, the way you're talking, the way maybe
and
the
your
knowledge,
message.
absolutely. And you're going to turn away the people that aren't. Like, if you're ethical, have the utmost of integrity, honest, and all of that, well, the people that are not are not going to come to you.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what you want. I mean, imagine a business, where a real estate business where you only work with the people that you want to work with, and all the other people don't want to work with you.
Right.
Perfect. Sign me up.
All rejection eliminated.
Yeah, exactly. So I always ask a couple last questions. So the first last question is we talk about disruptors and all these different things, and the value of a real estate agent, and whether it's Zillow or Trulia or Redfin's technology, Amazon's partnership with Realogy, all these different things that come and change because it's an ever-changing real estate industry.
Right.
How do you position yourself as a real estate agent to be here for the long haul?
Yes, that's a great question. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately, probably over the last 6 months or so. And I really do think what we as real estate professionals need to do that we have not done as effectively as we could or should is communicate our value to to the consumer. So not just your sphere of influence, but we've got to get better at delivering the message as to why we're valuable. We're not valuable because we can show you 10 homes. We're valuable because we have skills, systems, and strategies to get you into the home you want, so that you want the home you get at the end of the day, right? We're gonna help you buy the house or achieve the goal, whatever the goal is, more effectively, more efficiently, and more, not just professionally, but in education as well. Like our job is to keep our customers informed through the entire process, and make that, because it's such an emotional decision that, residential real estate is extremely emotional for all parties all the time. And, we're there to provide the therapy that our clients need to comfortably get through that process. And people often negate how important that emotional part of our business is. And that is probably one of the top 3 things we do, is get them through it emotionally, get them through it financially, meaning like the education, the negotiation, the education, the, understanding the different parts of their contract and the deadlines and all those different things. Like, that's our job. Skill, care, and diligence in Florida is our one of our primary duties. Skill, care, and diligence. So that alone right there is on another level, right?
Yeah, and I always talk to agents, and I say, our biggest job, honestly, is to take the emotion out of a transaction, because it's so emotional, as you indicated, throughout. And the way, and one of my biggest pet peeves is when agents start saying, oh, the other agent's terrible, or the other agent's not doing their job, or the other agent, what does that say to a consumer when you as an agent are bringing down another agent? And what are you doing to that transaction? The next time when you get through the appraisal contingency or the inspection contingency, stop bringing down other agents, because listen, start teaching. And there's a way to teach that's not condescending.
Absolutely. So I love this point that you're about to make, and I want to add this. Agents, number one, you're not your customer's lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm licensed in Florida, and I know better. You are not their lawyer. You're not technically their advocate. In Florida, we operate as transaction brokers, and go talk to your broker about what that actually means. But at the end of the day, when you join the MLS, right, which most of us are members of the MLS, it's a cooperative. Let's cooperate with one another to get the transaction done, right? Like, that's the mindset. We need to stop having this mindset of adversarial, exchange. Stop making real estate adversarial. We don't need to be adversarial. We need to be cooperative. People, let's guide each other so we avoid mistakes, right? Instead of like setting people up for mistakes, let's try to avoid them, because the person that gets harmed is our client and the consumer. And that's why our reputation is the way that it is because we're not properly educating our client. And sometimes we have the right or the wrong mindset about the transaction, about our business. And we need to move from that.
I agree. It's not a win or lose situation.
No.
Because at the end of the day, buyers want to buy.
Yes.
Sellers want to sell, right? And when you say, when you ask a seller, well, what do you want? Oh, I want the highest amount in the least amount of time, and that may be the case, but that's not always the case, because what happens is the seller wants to sell. Right. Does he need to get every last dollar out of it? Maybe in some instances he does, but in most cases, the convenience and the smoothness of a transaction is going to bring them a lot better experience and results, and if they didn't get the last 2,000, they sold for 2,000 less. Is that worth the time that you spent being on the market another 4 months because something
all of that. No, absolutely agree. And I think a mistake that a lot of agents make is we start doing too much talking and not enough listening, right? Stop telling your client what they want and start listening and asking them what they want and what they need, and let's just stop, shut up, and listen. We bring in her name's Cindy Krosky. We bring in this team builder, sociologist, psychologist, whatever. But she comes in, and the thing that we learned, I always learned something from her. For the last 3 years, we brought her in, and she always comes to me, and this to me is everything that we should be doing. It's called ask questions for clarity. So we don't ask enough questions. We usually stop. So why are you selling your house? Oh, I'm looking to downsize. Well, we don't go one step and say, well, what's the reason why you're down? Well, I need to downsize because I need to be close to my sister who's sick in the hospital, and Or, I need to downsize because I need to set up my kids for their future and college education. And then yes, it's okay to be emotional, because then you attach yourself to your client and you say, hey, or your customer, and you say, hey, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to guide you through this process effectively and efficiently with my skill, care, and diligence, and go that way. And I think, as realtors, that's what you have to do. You have to do a lot more cooperation, a lot more listening, and a lot more guiding rather than telling, demanding, not listening. And bickering.
Yeah. No, we don't like bickering. All right, last question. You ready?
Yes.
You ready? Put you on the spot.
Okay.
What do we not know about Kendall Bonner?
Oh.
That maybe no one knows, or maybe just a few people know.
Oh.
Just something that.
No one knows about me. I feel like I'm pretty transparent. I don't know. Oh, well, I love to read. I have always wanted to. Okay, don't judge me. Are you guys gonna judge me? No judge zone, no shaming. I told a friend of mine this once, and he said, "I wish you hadn't told me that." but it's true story. I love writing. I used to write a lot of poetry when I was younger, and I want to write romance novels. It's true story. One day I'm going to live on the beach, and I'm going to write books.
That's
and I'm going to
awesome.
write stories, and, I'm going to be,
And it's not just going to
and
be
I'm
a
probably
story.
going to change my name.
What would your name be?
I'm not telling. I'm not telling you. You've got a lot of listeners here. No, thank you. No, thank you.
That's
but,
awesome.
But if I could share one thing, if you don't mind,
Of course.
I am embarking on an adventure to do podcasting.
Awesome.
So the first episode will be launching here in the next week or so. So follow me, friend request me, follow me on hashtag Wednesdays, or I have a Facebook group, Improve Your Hustle, and I'll be announcing there when the podcast launches. So I would love your support, love your feedback. I'm taking questions. Let's do some stuff. Let's learn some stuff. Let's grow. Let's improve our hustle. Let's level up and pursue Entelechy in 2020.
Yeah, listen, podcasting is huge these days, and everyone's doing giving back to their realtor community, and I don't think there's anyone better or that I'd want to listen to, especially on a Win Wednesday. So definitely follow Kendall. She's great inspiration to many of us. So we appreciate you having a show. So next week, Tuesday, we are not on the road. Well, we're sort of on the road, on West Palm Beach Road. We will be with the lovely Deanna Hall, who is the CEO of RAPB plus GFLR plus South Broward Board. We are getting a branding at some point, but like a name. But right now, it's RAPB plus GFLR plus South Broward. Deanna Hall is our CEO. She is amazing. She runs the third largest board in the country, and we're excited to have her. So we'll talk about all things board related, and maybe things that realtors don't understand or know about the board, and maybe some of the behind the scenes stuff that she's been doing. So we appreciate. Thank you. Every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Breakfast with the Broker, Kendall Bonner. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Thank you. You guys
Get her book.
Yes.
Where can we find her book?
Amazon.
Awesome.
Amazon, or you can find a link from me. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Yay.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thanks
you
so
guys.
much.
We appreciate your support.
Rebecca, hopefully you can post a link to Kendall Bonner's book to order in our comment thread, and then you could also post to follow Kendall Bonner as well. So
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Appreciate
Take care,
you
guys.
Awesome.